Comedian Monique was recently quoted in an interview as saying that she calls her husband daddy. And the host, who was Tamar Braxton, who is having marital issues and also having some mental health issues, laughed like a cackling hen. I mean, she sounded like the Wicked Witch of the West, laughing at this woman for saying that she called her husband daddy. And when she began to explain why, you can hear the cackling hen, the witch, being very quiet. There is a very distinct reason that this woman, who is now, if not 50, very close to it, says that she still calls her husband daddy. And I say it all the time. Her husband is just a daddy for a grown woman. And the only women who have failed marriages are the ones who can't accept that fact. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, it goes without saying that women need guidance. Women need guidance bordering on dominance in order to embrace femininity. There has never been a time historically where women just woke up all willy-nilly and willingly accepted their feminine role. In any society where the women were extremely feminine, it is because the men of the society demanded it and the men had all the control to enforce it. You have to admit that being a man is a very, very admirable, very, very desirable position to be in almost every society, unless we're talking about the Wonder Woman society from the movies, this Amazon society that we keep hearing about. But we're talking about in the reality of the world we live in today. If I was not a man, of course, I would desire to be a man. I would envy a man's position. I would envy a man's power. So the only reason that women are going to accept that feminine position, even in a relationship, is if you absolutely demand it. And the problem is the majority of men out here are so full of femininity themselves that they cannot demand that of their woman. So they rather just say, okay, you do half of the femininity, I'll do half of the femininity. You do half of the masculinity, I'll do half of the masculinity. See, what Monique understands that most women don't understand, including this cackling hen, Tamar Braxton, is that a real man who a woman can trust for leadership requires staunch submission. And the thing is, the rewards of that submission will make a woman feel like a queen. You find me a woman who really feels like a queen, and it's a woman who's submitting to a king. So as alpha kings, when we say my way or no way, it's simply saying that a woman in my life, a woman in our lives, is going to have to understand that there is only one position she can play. And Monique, who knows if she's ever done this in any of her other relationships? I doubt it. But in this particular relationship, she has understood and accepted that her husband is the boss. Which means that even in these years, the twilight of her years, as far as her SMV goes, I applaud her for stepping up and saying, okay, if I want to be happy with this man, this is what I'm going to have to do. See, you got to understand, when non-feminine women lead a society, you get the circumstances we currently have in America. This open attack on masculinity. It's open season on masculinity in men, but promotion of masculine activity in women. I tell men all the time, women in American society don't want to be equal. They want to exchange places with men. They want men to be in the feminine position and they want to be in the masculine position. They want to live the lives that men have lived historically over the centuries. They want to be in power and want men to be submissive. They want to be the husbands, want men to be the wives. They want to be the boyfriends, want men to be the girlfriends. They want to be the leaders, want men to be the followers. And that's an issue that we have in this particular society. Now, I know some beta male man Johnny gonna come here and say, well, Dr. BOA, There you go again, living way back in the day. These women today are strong. These women today are smart. These women today can do anything out here that a man can do, Dr. B.O.A. They can do anything a man can do. I'm going to tell you what, Dr. B.O.A. That's how come you ain't got no women that chase you, and you ain't got no women that obey you. You ain't got no women at all, Dr. B.O.A., because you don't know nothing about them, and these modern women are too good for you. Unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker. Before you go, let me tell you this. My granddad told me a long time ago that no matter who the woman is, she's only half as good as you. She's only half as smart as you. She only half as wise as you. And she's only half as beautiful as you. And that's been my mindset from the beginning. That's why I don't have these problems that men have with women dominating and controlling them and running all over them. Because I never put somebody that I'm above in that position. And people say all the time, I had a guy jump in the comments the other day and tell me, well, Dr. B.O.A., if you're going to date a woman in her 20s, then something's wrong with you. That means you need a woman that's naive. And you need a woman that's going to submit and do what you say. And you need a woman that's going to be willing to follow you to the end of the earth. Yeah, you're right. Any real man does. And unfortunately, in America and in a society that's been overly influenced by this one, you're going to have a young woman in her 20s in order to have that. It's just that simple. You're going to have a woman in her 20s who's going to go full speed ahead with you with all the damage that is taking place in her life from being with man after man. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but you know, some of those young women you can rely on them to not have gone through all these things, all these emotional turmoil with all these different guys, man. And especially in other societies, you can count on them to not have gone through all of these bodies as well. Younger women are more sought after because of their willingness to follow a positive leader and effective leadership and appreciate a man's capacity to help them avoid mistakes in life. You get these older women, for the most part now, not all of them, but for the most part, they are a haven for the bitterness associated with shunning that leadership and guidance when it was available to them in their younger years. So now you have a woman who's not going to listen to any man, not because no man ever told her right, but because she's bitter because she didn't listen before. So she want to take it out on men, which is what women want to do. But when you come across a woman who understands that you're meant to be her leader, I'll take a 50-year-old woman who understands that I'm her leader and she's my follower before I'll take a 25-year-old dime who thinks she knows everything. Because truth be told, when it comes to what it takes for her to be in a relationship with a king, she don't know nothing. And she thinks she does. So the more men a woman has been with, the more she thinks she knows about relationships. The more intimacy a woman has had, the more she thinks she knows about pleasing you. The more misunderstandings a woman has had, the more she thinks she understands you. And the more religious indoctrination a woman has had, the more she thinks she knows God. So you see, a woman is not going to follow you when she thinks she knows more than she actually knows. Because in her mind, whatever little knowledge she's attained, which means even less that she's held on to, she thinks that she's fit to be your equal. Hence the 50-50 relationship. Hence, I want a man I can build with. No, you want a man you can help build. You can't build with me. You can help me build because I'm already building. We got to keep in mind that nothing she brings to the table is more valuable than her submission. Nothing. It doesn't matter what other characteristics she has. Her education, you got your education for you. That's so you can have a good career, have a nice job, so you can brag and walk around on your friends and say, I don't need no man. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You're a good mother? Okay. Are the children mine? Okay, well, I don't care about you being a good mother. You see? The only thing a woman can give you is that submission and followership, man. That's it. She can't give you anything else that matters. Any of the things she tries to give you is something that she's trying to sell to you as a good thing. Something she's trying to sell to you as something you should like. Something she's trying to sell to you as something you should enjoy. Something you should pride yourself in having. Something you should brag to your partners about. Yeah, I got a good woman. She got a good job. She got a good education. She make good money. That don't mean nothing. Because in the alpha sphere, the things we brag about, yeah, I got a good girl, man. She don't ask me no questions. If I tell her to do something, she just go ahead and do it. If I tell her I don't like something, she stop it. If I tell her I like something, she does it. No questions asked. Man, that don't sound like a woman I know. How old is she? Somewhere between 20 and 25. That's kind of young, ain't it? Nah. See, you have men who are stuck with women who don't obey, who don't listen, who do nothing but complain, who do nothing but be combative, who are always adversarial and confrontational, and then have the audacity to say that I'm supposed to have a woman who has that same mindset. Nah, bruh, it ain't gonna happen. Say what you want to say about me, but one thing you won't say is I'm tied up with a woman who's miserable and therefore making me miserable because she don't listen, she don't obey, and she don't understand that it's my way or no way. If that's your situation, homie, keep it. But you better try to find you a woman like Monique who understands that this may be her last chance to be happy. And all you guys who don't have women like this, if your woman ain't submitting to you, if your woman ain't revering you as the leader of her life, let me tell you one thing, young homie, and old homie too. You ain't got yourself no woman. You got a woman that's settling for you in a situation because it worked for her at a particular time. But now guess what? That happiness that you think she putting on, homie, that's really what she doing. She just putting on a good face for the people. Because deep down inside, man, she looking at you like, is this all there is to life and love? You ain't got to listen to me when that divorce get filed in a little while. You sitting around here crying like a child. You'll be back. You'll be back over here in the alpha sphere. You'll be back asking questions. You'll be back trying to book a consultation. I'll be right here. I will not shun you. I will not turn you away. I will listen to you. I will help you get everything together. Because I know you're not listening right now. Women need guidance bordering on dominance in order to embrace their femininity. Just go to the turf and ask all the pimps. They'll vouch for me because they live that life. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.